what makes Waitrose posher than Tesco, right, to some extent is not what they sell, it's what they don't sell or what isn't prominent on the shelves. Okay, so one of the things that always amuses me at my local Waitrose is going around looking for pork scratchings, okay, a totally delicious but not very fashionable food until recently. And it's always right on the bottom shelf. And you don't have, if you go to Waitrose, you don't have 3 yards of Pop-Tarts. Okay, and so a large part of the curation of Waitrose is actually the hiding or absence of naff foods rather than the presence of posh foods.
Yes, interesting.
You know,
Why else does Waitrose make you feel like you're having a posh shop rather than Tesco's, where you might not always feel that? Why is it? And I'll tell you, it's all about what you feel, and it's all about the senses.
Yeah, it is.
And it's about symmetries, and it's about the width of the aisles, and it's about the colour, and it's about the lighting. That's about what you smell and what you feel and what you would taste if you go to the cheese counter. And those little things all add up to an esoteric feeling of, yes, this has a higher value.
So it's very interesting about that, because I had a colleague who worked on the Marks and Spencer's account for ages. And what he wanted to say, he never had the balls to do it, and I don't blame him. But he always wanted to say to Marks and Spencer, look, I'm not going to work on any advertising for you at all until you sort out your flooring and lighting in your clothing department.
Yeah.
Because Marks and Spencer's obviously have some sort of procurement which does the flooring and the lighting for food and for clothing in the same way.
I totally agree, and I know exactly what you mean. It feels like being in a dentist's chair. It does.
And I'm kind of going, you can't charge, you can't get someone to spend 250 quid on clothes and shoes if you have basically industrial lighting and a bloody easy clean floor.
Totally agree, and it's a perfect example of a silent irritant.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't feel like a premium experience there, despite the fact that the clothes are often excellent. They're very, very well priced. It's one of those weird, I always made a joke about the weird rule, which is in clothing retail, if you spend 100 quid or more, they have to give you a rope-handled bag. Yeah. It makes no sense. It's just one of those kind of, if you spent 200 quid and you get a polythene bag, something feels wrong.
Absolutely.
Fundamentally.
I want to go back into the 5 cents.
By the way, actually, one extra point. I think in any form of capitalist exchange, there's a necessary level of bullshit for any level of expenditure. So that it feels... What I'm saying is that to buy a car online is a perfectly rational thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay? But it feels wrong. If I'm going to spend a 5-figure sum on a car, I just want someone to just do a little bit of, and by the way, this is the glove compartment, and and likewise with why are estate agents posh? Okay, because if you're going to spend a 6-figure sum, okay, you kind of want someone a bit posh just to make a bit of a fuss of you, because it's just a level of bullshit that seems commensurate with the amount you're spending.
And the experience of the transaction is something that you want to be able to memorize and tell people about.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks to your e-com and accounting software. It's helped Islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.